After spending a year posting every day, building an audience, I got 15 users. Either discourage me or motivate me. In a year when the content is going to be so saturated that you won't even know where to start. Gone are the days where people are building businesses and they're just producing the work. Do you think I like being in front of a camera? This is a necessity, not a nice to have anymore. Do you want to continue to grow a business, or are you going to change with it? Welcome. My goal is to teach you how to build a business. Today marks week 3 of Building Taxifi in public. This has already been such a journey, super exciting, super nerve-wracking, super all the emotions that go into creating a business from square one. This last week, I launched the name. This last week, I launched early access. This last week, I shared a story about the why I created Taxify. Think about all the content that I created in 1 week that I shared with my audience and the public. I can honestly say it's going extremely well. However, there's a lot more content online now than there ever was before. When I started my first business 10 years ago, no one had a social media account back in 2012. No one was online, especially accountants. So the fact that I was the first person to start creating a social media account, I was the first person to be on Google, I was the first person to do online marketing. When anyone was looking for an accountant, I would be the first one popped up. You fast forward till 2025, now everyone's building content. Everyone's building content and everyone's scrolling. There's advantages and disadvantages with that. And what I'm seeing to break through, there's a lot of hurdles. And I'll give you an example. I'm working with one creator. She's been creating for 5 years. First year, $0. Second year, $0. Third year, $30,000. Fourth year, $75,000. Fifth year, $200,000. It's taken 5 years before she's making real money. She had to show up every day online to create a distribution channel so that now she's making money each day. She's spending a lot less time on social media and she's making 10 times more than she ever even thought of. Why? Because she's built an audience that has a distribution channel. Gone are the days where people are building businesses and they're just producing the work. Those days are gone. The new reality of things is you got to be a creator, then you got to be a businessman or businesswoman. That's just the reality of the world. I was watching a Netflix series yesterday on selling Manhattan with Ryan Serhant. You can tell just on that, half or 75% of his time is creating content. He's doing commercials, he's doing YouTube, he's documenting his whole process. He doesn't even sell now. He has a team of people to sell. His main mission is to get leads. His main mission is to be in front of a camera. Do you think I like being in front of a camera, showing my face everywhere? No, the reality of this world is this is a necessity, not a nice to have anymore. You have to be on camera in order to get distribution, because what other options are there? I don't watch TV. I wouldn't pay for a radio ad. I wouldn't pay $10,000, $15,000 for a 3-month radio ad. What I would do with that money is I would hire an influencer to distribute my product for me. And that's exactly what I did yesterday on Sunday. I paid a creator to do a giveaway. There's over 8,000 views, over 1,000 comments, and over 200 people following both Taxify and myself because I was a collaborator. The marketing has changed. The distribution has changed. Now, the question is, if you're listening to this and you want to start a business or you want to continue to grow a business, are you going to change with it? Are you going to rent a space like this and be on camera and learn how to communicate your thoughts in less than 30 seconds, a minute, and then eventually 10 to 15 minutes? At the beginning of my whole personal brand journey, I couldn't tell you how hard it was. Talking in front of a camera, not being able to communicate with someone, being nervous, all the flaws came out. I didn't realize I had a left twitchy eye. My wife would say, Dave, like control your eye. But it was just potential nerves, uncomfortable. All of those things went on. But now, guess what? A year later, the natural emotion to communicate my thoughts is there. Do I still mess up? Do I still need editing? Do I still need all this? Absolutely. But week 3 was definitely a complete mind shift. Like, yes, what I'm doing is right by being online. I'm on 3 major platforms: LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok. Those 3 platforms have 3 different audiences. For example, TikTok. TikTok's audience is more authentic. Show up however you are and distribute your ideas. The more authentic you are, the more engaged you'll get from your audience. Instagram's completely different. You need to be more polished. You need to be in a studio like this. You need to have the voice control. There's a lot more people fighting for reels and posts, where the stories are more the authentic, natural limelight. No one told me that. A lot of business people, I guarantee, do not know the algorithm of TikTok, Instagram, or LinkedIn, or whatever platform you're on. It took me a year to figure it out, a lot of research, that every audience is completely different. And then you go on LinkedIn and it's a completely different audience. What works well on Instagram doesn't work well on LinkedIn. And what works well on LinkedIn doesn't work well on TikTok. That's just the reality of things. So going back to the past week, early access launch, distribution to all platforms, creating a journey where I spoke about the why of Taxify distributed across the platforms. I did all the different distributions, and guess what? I got 15 signups for early access. After spending a year posting every day, building an audience, I got 15 users. You know why? Because there's so much content out there. And this could either discourage me or motivate me. And guess what? It's motivating me. It's motivating me to think differently. It's motivating me to be a creator and double down on that. Because if you don't do it now, imagine in 6 months when you're also competing with AI. Imagine in a year when the content is going to be so saturated that you won't even know where to start. I'm telling you, and I don't want to have any fear monitoring, but you got to start now, whatever business you're going after. If you want to launch a business like myself and build an app and go after millions of people, do that. Or if you want to be a solopreneur just in your house as a side gig, selling some product, you're going to have to create. And my message for this week is really, after going through now on week 3, distribution is everything. Technology has to work. That's a check mark. But how you get it out there is so complex. How you get it out there and make sure that people are seeing it, you either have to have your audience, partner with your audience, or really collaborate in a very authentic way. Or you can go to the extreme and be controversial and whatnot. But that's where the algorithms are going. I'm not that extreme personality. I'm a partnership individual where I like to partner, build something. I don't care about going viral. It's small steps to get to the end result. It took 10 years to get to the end result. And this last week, posting on every platform after posting a year just proved to me that it's going to be small steps every day to the end result. Just post one valuable item on one platform for a year. Get that audience, because once you get the audience, you don't even need to know business anymore. You can attach yourself to business people. And I'll give you another example. So I started this podcast 3 months ago. I have 2 people on my podcast typically. a creator, and a small business owner, entrepreneur, founder. The creator, whenever I ask them to come on this platform and do a podcast, they're nervous, but they jump on and they don't ask any questions and they're very authentic. You could tell their nerves are in them, but they go through it and they get a lot of publicity. Where the business person, it's a completely different mindset. What they do instead, the first question they ask is, are there any scripts? Are there any questions? They're already trying to plan what they're going to say before they even come on. I was that person. I would do so much planning. I'd make sure everything was outlined. I would have all the questions, all the answers, so that when I went online, it was already pre memorized so that I could just talk. That's why when I started social media, it was so hard because you can't do that. You have to go on camera and just shoot. But I can tell you, A or B, creators, authentic, B, business owners, pre planned. Who connects more with an audience? The creators. So, you business people out there that have all this knowledge, expertise, everything, you got to learn how to be vulnerable and authentic, or else you will not get any connection. And vulnerability is one of the hardest things for me. And that's why I'm doing podcasts. That's why I'm doing guest interviews, because I can't do it in a 1 minute post. I can't do it. I tried it. It's not me. So having that conversation with an individual is a lot easier to be more authentic. If I can help one business owner or one person start a business, I'm doing my job. And that's why I'm creating this content. Taxify will be an app that will solve problems for creator and solopreneurs, especially in Canada. The launch date is March 2nd, 2026. So I have 2.5 months now to plan for that launch date. So now I have being a creator as well as being an owner. I have to make sure the developers are developing. I have to follow up with testing. I have to get test users. I have to do all that back end, but I also have to create. So, how I set up my day was the morning I'm creating, the afternoon I'm running the business. Can I run another business on the side? Absolutely not, because those two things take a lot of time. And I can't outsource the creative portion of it. It has to be me. It has to be founders led. Because if it's not founders led and if you're not storytelling, who's going to listen? There's too much content out there. So this past week was all about distribution, all about early access, all about creating the buzz. Now, even with doing a giveaway with an influencer, I got all this attention. How do you convert those followers to users? That's what's on my mind right now. And that's the iteration process that I need to go through. This week is going to be a little calmer and cooler because last week was a big bang. It's going to hone in on the messaging of who I'm going to appeal to, which is that creator and that solopreneur. And the solopreneur is the individual that's running a side gig, that is working full time, that is creating on the side, that's distributing a product, that's doing whatever, that needs help, that doesn't have time to deal with the tax pain. You have to understand your client. And the first portion of me even launching this, I had to understand what problem I'm going to solve. So this week's going to be all about being consistent, slow steps. I'm working on my website. That's going to be launched. I'm working on all these little things that are going to be launched, and it's going to just drive the content up even more. It's a content driven company, and I'm going to be leading with a founders led storytelling. So if you like this journey, comment below. If you're a creator or a solopreneur, please check out the early access waitlist. We're going to get as many people on the waitlist as possible. And then we're going to be picking a handful of people to test the product to make sure that when March 2nd, 2026 comes on, it's launched. There'll be founders rates, there'll be early access, there'll be a lot of things for you to appeal to you and your business. Thank you.